Hello, everyone. This is Tatay Jackford, um, broadcasting from Lodi, California. May breaking news. Bago yung breaking news po, patugtog tayo ng national anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Okay, binabati ko si Toblerone. Pusit siya talaga. Ang PP, tama. You're right. Nandito na rin ang favorite kong pet lover, si Lady Queen B, the pet lover. Good morning po. At saka si Daniel, very sports highlights. And then si si Yup Upach, 1975. Okay, good morning again. And I am broadcasting from and coming to you live from California. Oh, si Daniel nandito. Ulit. Okay. As usual, yung mga konting paalala lang sa aking while waiting for others to come to my life. Okay. So I'm glad to tell you that nadagdagan ako ng 2 subscribers. 6,088 na po tayo in the last 28 days. Okay. I am not hiding the fact that walang fake news dito. Itong balita ang inyong malalaman. Emergency live stream lang ito because this is an important development. Yung pag-fire po kay spokesperson Attorney POA ni Sinibak po siya ni BP Sara. Ang aking channel ay nagsusulong sa kandidatura ni GIBO TEODORO for 2028. MAKIISA na po sa GIBO for 2028 for President Movement. Okay. Bakit po si Sek GIBO TEODORO ang karapat-dapat na maging presidente sa 2028? Magtiwala kayo sa akin. Inaral ko ang mga qualification ng bawat presidential. Siya po ang may pinaka-matatag na kwalifikasyon. At saka siya ay tapat sa ating Pangulo, sa kanyang trabaho, at hindi siya nagrereklamo. Siya lang pinagkakitiwalaan ni Presidente Marcos ngayon sa panahon ng sakuna. Nabdulot ng mga bagyo, parating siya po ang kasama. Ibig sabihin, matatag siyang magtrabaho. Okay? Tulungan natin siya, pero kasi hindi siya kilala. Hindi kilala si Secretary GIBO TEODORO. Para makilala siya, tulungan natin. Tulungan niyo ang aking channel na nagsusulong sa kanyang kandidatura, ang Tatay Jack's Analysis and Opinions Channel. Tatay Jack first actually. Ang sabi ng Presidente, protect PBBM of our country from politicians who are only looking out for their personal interest, without honor, integrity, and have no sense of justice. The President said, and sabi niya, there is no room in this government for anyone who places impersonal interest above serving the Filipino people with honor, integrity, and justice. Katulad ngayon, Finar po yung naglaglag kay BP Sara tungkol sa confidential fund. Diba nung isang session, isang else ko, sinabi ko, oy, inilaglag ni spokesperson POA si Sara Duterte, baby Sara Duterte. Lagot siya, sinabi ko. Nagkatotoo ang aking hinala. Okay? Katotoo ang aking prediction. Lagot siya. Okay. Okay. Manindigan po sana ang lahat na may malasakit sa ating bayan sa tamang ADHIKAIN at prinsipyo. At mahalin natin ang ating bansa kaysa sa mga inidolong politiko. Okay. Mga palalangan po ito. Huwag nating tangkilikin ang mga politikong makachana at hindi matino ang pag-iisip. Para makilala kong hindi matino ang pag-iisip. Ang tama ay tama. Dapat suportahan, apurihin. Ang mali ay mali. Dapat labanan at patikusin. Isa po, isa po itong kaganapan na hindi po tama ang ginawa ni BP Sara kung wala siyang itinatago. Labanan natin ang mga fake news channel, mag-unsubscribe na po kayo sa kanila. Okay? Taos puso po ang nagpapasalamat si Tatay Jack sa mga preferred and regular members ko po. Makikita niyo dyan sa taas, mayroong goal. Hindi ko siguro ma-reach yan na super chat. Sinubukan ko lang. Okay? Kung gusto niyo ang aking channel, maybe you could participate dun sa goal na yung taas ng kanyang na nakikita yung black spot. Okay. Okay, maraming salamat kay Papa B, Lintek, Team Lintek sa pagtulong sa channel ni Tatay Doug Freds. Okay. Salamat din sa Team Kulits, Sis That Channel, Hong Kong Angels, Mami Monique Parkman Channel, Auto Supporters and SSTV family. Okay. Pakisuportahan po ninyo ang mga channels na magagaling na sina Kainaro, Papa B Entertainment, Rushing Flag TV at si Trexie Villa 11. Supportan po nyo sila. Thank you po sa patuloy nyong pagsubaybay at pagsuporta sa mga LS ni Tatay. Ito po. Sara Duterte, ito na ang balita. Spokesperson leaves OBP, says contract pre-terminated. Pre-terminated, ibig sabihin po, Sinibak sinibak siya bago natapos ang kontrata. Okay, malulubat ako. Sandali. Sandali lang po, malulubat ako. Naputo lang. Talagang hindi teki si Tatay. Okay. What happened? Okay, sinibak niya. Napansin nyo, Vengadora talaga ang isang bad quality ni BP Sara. Dahil sa hindi gustong magsinungaling si Spox Attorney POA na sinabi niya ang katotohanan na binigyan lang po yung confirmation sa PA pero wala siyang kinalaman sa paggasta ng pera. So nabisto tuloy si VP Sara office, ang office ni VP Sara sa katiwaliang hindi sila nagbigay ng pera sa Philippine Army. Ginamit lang niya confirmation, bali parang may nag-utos po kay Attorney POA. Pero sinunod lang niya yung utos na kumuha ng confirmation doon sa Philippine Army. Yun ang sinabi niya sa camera. Kaya tuloy, nabisto ang Office of the Vice President na hindi po nagbigay ng 15 million sa Philippine Army to subsidize yung mga activities ng Philippine Army. Dahil doon, nabisto si BP Sara. Gumanti ngayon si BP Sara. Pre-terminated po yung kontrata ni Attorney POA. So, hindi na siya konektado po sa Office of the Vice President. Ganyan ang mga Duterte. Mahirap ang aminin ng mga DDS. Pero ganyan po ang ugali ng mga Duterte. Pag hindi ka talagang loyal sa kanila, kay ikaw ay malilindigan. May pagkakamali si VP Sara rito. So, no holds barred na si Atty. Poa. Unless, of course, may sentimental trait po si Atty. Poa na hindi rin niya ibubulgar lahat ng kabuktutan na nangyari sa OBP. O baka takot din siya sa buhay niya. Alam niyo na, ang mga Duterte, alam niya ang ibig kong sabihin. I don't have to expound on it. Mayroon pong code of silence, yung mga loyalista ng mga Duterte. Yung isa nga loyalista ng mga Duterte, ang chief of staff ni VP Sara ay tumakas papuntang New York. Babalita ko sa inyo yan mamaya. O bakit siya tatakas? Bakit biglaan siya nagpunta ng States? Samantalang siya ay pinapaharap ng kamera na sagutin ang mga katanungan ng kamera in aid of legislation. Kataka-taka. Biglaan ang paglikas niya sa United States. Mga PBBM, mga DDS, hindi po may papagtanggol. Ang galawan ng mga opisyalis ng OBP na ayaw humarap sa kamera. Kung wala po silang itinatago, diba dapat handa silang humarap sa Kongreso? Kasi yan ang isang tungkulin, mahalagang tungkulin ng Kongreso, ang magtanong tungkol sa mga katayualian. BP is the custodial of the fund of BP and DepEd. Any misuse and malversation is a breach of public trust. Impeachment is coming. You're probably right, totally wrong. You're probably right. Natatalino po magkukomento. Okay. Why in the world would they not go to the Congress to explain how they spent the 15 million? I wonder why. Are they protecting the vice president? Are they afraid of suffering the same fate as what Atty. Pua, who has been recently terminated, they don't want to experience what he experienced? These are questions that need to be asked. And if you are an intelligent person, you can draw a conclusion that Pua was fired because he divulged some of the anomalies of the office of the vice president. Okay. Babasa po tayo mamaya, itutuloy natin ang LS ko sa actual public hearing. Okay. Tutuloy na, nagtatrabaho na tayo ng 10 oras o 8 oras, it doesn't matter. What we need is to know the real truth. Okay? Balik tayo sa balita. Lawyer Michael Poa is no longer connected with the Vice President Sara's office. He told a House committee, House panel investigating the official fund utilization on Tuesday. Okay. Si Maestro Paul nandito po. Kumusta supportan po natin si Maestro Paul din. Okay. So, why was he fired? Simply because he is no longer useful to VP Sara. Poa, who served as a spokesperson of the Office of the Vice President, said his consultancy contract was already pre-terminated. Ganyan ang ating kasalukuyang Vice Presidente. Kung hindi ka na niya kailangan o may nagawa ka ang disgusto niya, ay ayaw niya, kaya kaway ititiwala o itatalsik, ikaw ay sisipain. Okay. Ganyan po ang mga Duterte. Kaya takot mga alipores, yung mga alagad niya. POA was being asked on the whereabouts of the office of other OVP officials who yet again skipped the committee's inquiry, prompting his clarification on his employment status. Okay, sabi niya. When I was still there, they were still connected with the OPV. Nung nandun pa raw siya, konektado pa sila. As of today, hindi na po masasabi factually if they are still connected or not. So, hindi niya alam kasi wala na siya doon sa office. Tama ang sagot ng formerly spokesperson. Remember si Atty. Po, ang parating katabi ni Vice Presidente sa mga conferences o sa mga hearings, siya po ang relied upon by the Vice President to answer the questions. Magaling po siya sumagot ng question. Kaya lang, lawyer siya. He doesn't want to be disbarred by committing perjury. Kaya siniwalat niya ang katotohanan during the last hearing po. Sabi niya, sabi sa balita, when I was still there, they were still connected with the office of the Vice President. As of today, hindi ko po masasabi factually if they are still connected or not. Okay. Okay. Totoo yan. Hindi na siya konektado. Nagpaalam po ako sa umalis prior to the previous hearing that we had. Okay. Prior to his stint with the OBP, POA was also undersecretary and spokesperson of the Department of Education when Duterte headed the agency. Loyal po ito. Nung umalis si POA doon sa si Vice Presidente doon sa pagka cabinet secretary niya, umalis din siya. Sumama lang siya, naging spokesperson ni OBP. Kaso, nagkamali siya na hindi niya pinagtakpan si BP. Kaya sinisanti siya tuloy. Okay. Basahin natin ang mga komento. Sandali. Baka matamakan tayo. Okay. Tamsak, sabi ni Maestro po, pag hindi pa kayo nag-subscribe sa kanya, mag-subscribe na po kayo sa kanya. POA can't hide the truth anymore. That's correct. Tama po, prati si TOTOONG. Just tell the truth. POA, it will set you free. Agree. Si TOTOONG binabati, sikat si Maestro Paul dito. Ni Maestro Paul, si Daniel, binabati si Maestro Paul. May mga nagmamahal kay Maestro Paul dito. At si TOTOONG binabati si Daniel. Si Daniel binabati si TOTOONG. Tignan natin kung ang actual na statement po ni Attorney POA. Okay? Ito po ang actual na statement ni Attorney POA. Makinig tayo bago tayo magkomento. Okay? Ito.
No longer connected with DepEd, but how about in the office of the Vice President? Are you still connected?
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I would like to inform the Honorable Committee that I am no longer connected po with the Office of the Vice President.
Natatandaan niyo yung mukha niya? Yan parating sumasagot para kay DP Sara. Okay. So, mayroon madadagdag. Sasabihin niya, pag nagtestigo pa na si Atty. Pawa, sasabihin na naman ng Vice Presidente na disgruntled fired official si Atty. Pawa. Okay. Ganyan po. Tulad ng ginawa niya kay Undersecretary Gloria Mercado. Ayan, mga DDS, hindi na ba kayo nakakalata? Manhid ba kayo? Marami ng ebidensya kung ano ang kalidad ng Vice Presidente. Mapagkakatiwalaan pa po natin siya? Tanong ko sa inyo. Kung matino kayo, ay dapat nahusay ang inyong pagsagot. Mahusay ang magiging konklusyon nyo. Kaso kung di kayo matalino, may paka-obobs kayo dahil sa pagmamahal nyo sa mga Duterte, ay talagang walang pag-asa kayo na mag-improve. Masakit man kung sabihin yan, pero yan po ang katotohanan. Mga kaibigan ko, wag na kayong magtampo sa akin. Sinasabi ko lang ang aking opinion. Okay?
Hindi na po ako, yung consultancy contract ko po was already pre-terminated, Your Honor.
These people who have invited wrote to us a personal letter why they cannot attend, or it was just more of a the person that actually said that they cannot accept the invitation.
Your Honor, it was not signed by the person who refused to actually receive yesterday. It was signed by the subject of the subpoena ad duces tecum, Your Honor. The subjects of the subpoena.
Are all of these invited, Mr. Chair, still active in the Vice President's office, or they were actually working with the Vice President in a DepEd? Are they now working with the Vice President in her office as Vice President, Mr. Chair?
Pardon, Your Honor, I would like to correct my statement. It is subpoena ad testificandum, Your Honor. For the position paper, Your Honor, the committee and the secretariat has information that Attorney Sunshine Shari A. Fajarda was formerly an ASEC of the Department of Education. In the previous hearing, the position papers she submitted to the committee did not use the header of the Office of the Vice President. However, from the start of our hearings, Your Honor, Mr. Edward D. Fajarda, formerly the SDO of the Department of Education, submitted his position papers under the header of the Office of the Vice President. It was only today, in view of this position paper submitted today, that the Secretariat was made aware that Attorney Sunshine Shari A. Fajarda is now with the Office of the Vice President, considering that she signed her name here under the header of the OVP.
As to the question of Congressman Abante, with respect to the status of this subject, siguro we can ask the former undersecretary or the spokesman of the Vice President, Atty. Powa, if are you still connected with the, well, I understand that you are no longer connected with DepEd, but how about in the Office of the Vice President? Are you still connected?
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I would like to inform the Honorable Committee that I am no longer connected po with the Office of the Vice President. Hindi na po ako yung
Yan, malinaw. Ang pagkasabi po.
consultancy contract ko po was already pre-terminated, Your Honor.
Pre-terminated, hindi pa tapos ang kontrata. Terminate siya. Anong dahilan? Hindi nagustuhan yung ginawa niya sa pagtitistigo ng katotohanan sa kamera. Ganyan po ang masamang ugali ng Vice Presidente. Okay?
Not even as a spokesman?
Wala na rin po ako as spokesperson.
Okay, but are you aware of the status of the people who are subject of the subpoena?
Opo.
Are they still connected?
Honestly, Your Honor, when I was still there, yes, they were connected with the OVP. Although, as of today,
Siyempre, nung siya alam niya, konektado sila. Ngayon, wala na siya, hindi niya alam yung status ng mga kasama niya. Kung na-fire na sila o nandun pa sila. Okay?
Hindi ko na po talaga masabi factually if they are still connected or not. I would assume because of the position paper with the letterhead that they're still connected, but I cannot confirm that because nagpaalam po ako, nagpaalam po ako na umalis prior pa po to the previous hearing that we had.
Mr. Chair, I assume
Yes, Congressman
that,
Abante.
that Attorney Powa knows all of these people personally, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your
Oo.
Honor.
So therefore, siguro at present, alam mo pa rin kung sino yung connected kay Vice President.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who are those people still connected with the Vice President?
Your Honor, as far
As far as you know it.
as far as I know, those people are still connected with the Vice President. Although as of today, I really do not have personal knowledge. But as far as I know, they are still connected.
Yeah,
So,
safe
Chair, how
answer niya.
about, Miss Lopez, is she still connected?
as far as I know, Your Honor.
Miss Lopez, ang Chief of Staff ng Vice Presidente, left for the States. Kasama yan sa aking babalita. Bakit siya napunta ng States kung wala siyang itinatago? Yun ang malaking question na dapat masagot ng mga DDS na nagtatanggol kay BP Sara. Hindi ito patutsada sa DDS. Pero dapat ng mga gising na DDS ay tanungin ang sarili. Bakit ang Chief of Staff ng Vice President ay biglang tumakas papuntang US habang sa kasagsagan ng investigasyon tungkol sa paggamit ng pondo ng bayan ng Office of the Vice President. Hindi ba nakapagtataka? O talagang sadyang wala kayong pakialam, maka DDS, kung paano plusayin ang pera ng bayan? Dahil sa ang lumusay po ay mga Duterte. Ay mabigat po yan na tanong. Mabigat po yan na tanong. Wala kayong pakialam sa paglustay ng kaban ng bayan? Dahil sa mga Duterte ang lumustay? Masasagot yung bayan? Mahal nyo ba ang ating bayan? O mas mahal nyo ang iniidolong yung mga Duterte? Okay.
Mr. Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Yeah,
Your-
Emmanuel Gonzaga Ortonio.
Yes, Your Honor. As far as I
How
know.
about Rosalyn Ladores Sanchez?
As far as I know, Your Honor. Same.
Gina Acosta.
I don't have any interaction po with her, but when I was there, yes, I know that she was connected with those.
About Julieta Villa del Rey.
As far as I know, Your Honor.
Edward Fajarda.
Yes, as far as I know.
And
Your Honor.
Sunshine Chari Fajarda.
As far as I know as well, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, I would assume that if all of these are connected with the Vice President, it is the Vice President herself that asked them not to attend this hearing.
Or Congressman Abante, it might also be, it's because she set a bad president. Nagbigay siya ng hemplo na pwede pa lang hindi umattend sa panawagan ng Kongreso or Kamara na umattend sila dahil nakalusot ang Vice Presidente. Nagkamali noon ang chairman na tinalusot po si Vice Presidente. So ngayon, dahil sa ginawa na Vice Presidente na hindi po nag-take out, na nag-skip ng congressional hearing, sinundan po siya ng mga alipuris niya. Or pwede rin yung sinabihan ng Vice Presidente, yung ini-insinuate ni Congressman Nabante na huwag kayong umattend. Kung hindi, mawawalan kayo ng hanap buhay. Yun ang gustong gustong sabihin ni Congressman Abante, dinidirekta ko na lang. Ay, siyempre, kung talaga pong yan po ang only means of their income, eh, siyempre, kapit patalim po sila. Susundin kung ano man ang sabihin na mali, kahit na mali, ang sinasabi ng Vice Presidente. Kasi nakasalalay dyan po ang pagsuporta nila sa kanilang pamilya. Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng ating magiting na Congressman Abante. Okay?
So may I know if all these subject persons that were mentioned by the Honorable Abante are still, do you have any travel update?
Your Honor,
Are they still? Yes, Congressman.
Natanda-tandaan nyo, nabalitaan nyo na siguro na nagkaroon ng lookout order ang Kongreso sa Bureau of Immigration. Nahuli sila ng pagbibigay ng lookout order. Nakatakas po ang Chief of Staff ni Vice Presidente. Malay mo, binigyan pa ng pamasahe ng Vice Presidente ang Chief of Staff niya. Kasi magastos ang pagpunta sa States po. Ay yung gagasan niya araw-araw. Ilang milyon kaya ang ibinigay kay Chief of Staff Lopez o gumamit ng sariling pera si Chief of Staff Lopez because it's, to tell you the truth, it's very expensive to live here in the States. Considering po yung pamasahe, it is unthinkable that he or she will just spend that kind of money. Ayaw niya sigurong ipahamak ang Vice Presidente. Ayaw din niya ipahamak ang sarili niya. Kaya napilitan siyang tumakas patungong stage. Yan po lang po ang aking opinion. Opinion ko lang po yun. Pwede kayong mag-disagree sa aking opinion. Okay? Okay.
Congressman.
Mr. Chair, may I also... Mr. Chair.
Congressman Sia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. In line with the question of Chairman Abante, well, I'd like also to ask Attorney Pao, because she mentioned certain number of names, and you confirmed that they are still connected with the Office of the Vice President. Would you also know if an individual by the name of Kelvin Tuntenido and Maria Edeline Rabago are still also connected with the Office of the Vice President?
Your
Attorney
Honor,
Poa. Please
Mr. Chair.
respond.
Your Honor, I am not familiar with them because when I was spokesperson, I only dealt with the upper management. Although yung Mr. Kelvin, I think I recall his name.
Yeah.
Although I cannot, in all honesty, say if he's still connected.
When the time that you were connected with the Vice President, have you met these people?
Briefly,
Would you say that? Yeah?
Briefly, Your Honor, because of the budget hearings that
Okay.
time.
Are they career officers of OVP?
I honestly wouldn't know, Your Honor.
Okay, thank
Kasi
you.
I was only a consultant, Your Honor, so I beg your indulgence on
Yeah.
that.
Okay, thank you, Attorney. Thank you,
Mr. Chairman, just
Congressman Paduano.
just to clarify things, because we're discussing some other names mentioned by members or colleagues, no, and members of this committee. While we have received already the official position from the Office of the Vice President, and was signed by 7 persons, subject of isupena at testificandum.
Yes.
So Mr. Chairman, ganito na lang po because reading on the documents, no, that was as reply and an excuse of from the office of the Vice President signed by the 7 persons cited, issued by Suprema at testificando, a certain Attorney Lopez, at Lemuel Ortonio, Attorney Sanchez, Julieta Villaderle, Gina Acosta, and the spouses Sunshine and Edward Farda. Now, Mr. Chairman, while question of being absent in today's hearing was already discussed and answered by this honorable committee, unless otherwise, some of the members will discuss it once again with regards to question of sub judice, question of jurisdictional issue, and the right to decline the invitation. But one thing is important, Mr. Chairman, that they invoke the question of the 3D rule, which is our internal rules. So, Mr. Chairman, now to be safe, for this committee to be safe, may I respectfully move na lang, Mr. Chairman, to once again issue subpoena ad testificandum to all those mentioned name, no? To all those mentioned name and what's issued previously a subpoena ad testificandum to be present in the next hearing, Mr. Chairman. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Dan po ang napanood natin.
I'll get back to that po. No? I wanted to establish a timeline because one of the things that we have found with the acknowledgement receipts is that there seemed to be a disconnect in regarding relation to the dates, especially considering the fourth quarter of 2022 CF. Mr. Chair, maybe ask the Secretariat. I don't.
Ito po ay kasunod na ng hearing. Makikinig tayo. Portions po. Ito po ay kasagsagan na ng hearing. Hindi na po yung pag-fire sa spokesperson ng OBP. 158 official Office of the Vice President receipts, mayroon pong typographical error. Yan po ang katakataka dito. 158 po, parating may typographical error. Fans po yan. Dapat po ay hindi ka magkakaroon ng typographical error kasi pondo ng bayan yan. Dapat magkaroon ka ng safety measure para hindi ka magkaroon ng typographical error. Isa na namang black mark sa Office of the Vice President. At the very least po, masakit ko mang sabihin sa mga didis, incompetent po si BP Sara. Yung mga ganyan, hindi niya ininstyakan kung sakaling typographical error nga. Hindi niya po ininstyakan, sinabihan ang mga empleyado na mag-ingat po kasi pondo ng bayan. So kung incompetent siya sa maliit na departamento niya sa Office of the Vice President, hindi katulad ng Department of Education or National Defense, paano pa natin siya pampagkakatiwalaan sa pamamahala ng mahusay sa ating bansa? Ito po ang gustong ipalit ng mga DDS kay Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Baka mangyari tuloy, baldas dito, lustay dito, corruption dito, corruption doon ang mangyayari. Ano na ang mangyayari sa ating bansa? Mga DDS, mahal nyo ba talaga ang bayan? Yan ang tanong ko sa inyo. Okay. Nagtatanong lang po ako. Dahil mahal ko ang bayan, ayaw kong malustay o mawaldas ang kaban ng bayan. Kung di nyo mahal, maybe medyo sumama na kayo sa mga lumikas o tumakas sa ating bansa. Wag na kayong manirahan dito sa ating bansa. Kung di nyo mahal ang ating bayan, kung payag kayo na maldasin at hindi managot ang mga Duterte sa pagsasayang ng ating pera ng bayan. Okay?
Don't know if they prepared it. I want to flash on screen an acknowledgement receipt. Here. Is the date legible po sa inyo? Can you see? I'd like to confirm that the date that it says is actually December 28, 2023. Do you see that, Attorney Camora?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And supposedly this was attached. I'm not sure if this would come in for the first batch of response in December 2023, or if it came in with the second batch of response in March 2024. But this is supposedly a DEP presented for the fourth quarter of 2022. Isn't it strange? Not really strange. It's outright false for it to justify an expense in 2022, but the date is 2023. Would that be correct, Ms. Camora? Attorney Camora?
That is correct, Mr. Chair. Actually, one of the findings under the notice of suspension is that some of the acknowledgement receipts were dated December 2023, and some were even undated.
No.
And this would be the basis for disallowance? Or was this, this was the findings of the
Okay, basahin natin po yung komento ni Sara. Okay, ni Tobron. Walang pakundangan sa paggastos ang BP. Bago lang nanungkulan sa nasyonal, ganun na lang ang perang nalustay. Very good comment po, Tobron. Yan din ang komento ko. Bakit ayaw sagutin ni BP Sara ang mga tanong mga kongresista kung wala po siyang itinatago? Matapang lang siya, kundi karap ang mga masusing pagtatanong ng Kongreso. Natatandaan ninyo na yung naghamon siya na mag-undergo ng psychiatric evaluation at drug test, hinamon niya ang young gun. Pinatulan siya ng young guns. Nga DDS, ito po katotohanan. At nagbigay ng isang kondisyon ang young guns. Siya po ay humarap sa Kongreso. May narinig ba kayo ulit sa kanyang challenge kay BP Sara? Kayo na po ang mga DDS. Kayo na po ang sumagot sa aking tanong. Bluffer ba si VP Sara? Okay. Sabi ni Toblerone, kung hindi pagiging competent, siya mismo ang nanguha nito. Ay hindi tayo mali ka diyan sa yung sinabi naman. Masyado kang jumping into conclusion. Ayan, hindi ako nag-agree sa iyo. Because siya mismo ang nanguha nito. Palagay ko hindi. Binigay niya siguro yung pera sa mga tauhan niya sa suhol para sa kanya lang loyalty, tulad ng ginawa niya sa kay Undersecretary Mercado. Kita nyo, nagdi-disagree ako kay Toblerone. I'm sorry, Toblerone, but I will not jump into that conclusion. I will jump lang dun sa aking assertion na she was incompetent. Because there is evidence. Yung sa kinuha niya yung pera, wala tayong ebidensya. Pero dito, mayroon tayong ebidensya na she was or she is incompetent. Okay. Evidence-based po tayo dito, of drone. I'm sorry to say, you're a very good commentator, but sometimes let us stick to evidence. Evidence-based po tayo. Okay? Okay. Ay, nagbibiro ka. I see your point. Nagbibiro ka. Okay. But this is a serious matter, no? This is a serious matter. Ay, patas tayo rito. Okay. Shout out po kay Ruel Lingahan. Okay. So, patuloy tayo sa
AOM po, no?
Yes, that is under the notice of suspension na po,
The
Mr. Chair.
suspension.
Since nakapag-comply na sila, so yung observation namin was already under the notice of suspension po.
How would it be complied po, Attorney Camora? How did they rectify the AR? If it's, I mean,
ang nagtatanong po ay isang young gun. Young guns po yan. Challenge po ni BP Sara. Inaccept po yung challenge. Tameme po si BP Sara. Again, nagsasabi lang ako ng katotohanan, mga DDS. Pwede kayong bumatigo sa akin ngayon. Okay.
my understanding po is pag submitted po yung AR, this is already supposedly presumed to be regular, and then you have an outright problem such as 2023. Although you might say na...
Okay, may komento po si Revelingan. Ang pondo ay hindi yellow. Ang pondo ay hindi kusang nawawala. Correct po. Yan ang tamang analysis. Magaling talaga ang dilawan na siya. Dilawan po si Ruel Lingahan. Kakamping yan. Pero magaling magpresenta ng kanyang argumento. Okay. Okay. Kita nyo, 158 receipts ay may typographical error po. Okay?
a typographical error. But correct me if I'm wrong, this happens more than once po. Is that correct, Attorney Camora?
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Would you know how many ARs exactly yung dated 2023, submitted for 2022?
Mr. Chair, we have attached it in the original notice of suspension. However, we do not have the figures today.
Sige po. Well, just to help you po, no, based on our study, 158 of the acknowledged receipts have...
Yan alam ng mga kongresista kung ano ang tamang sagot. Kaya hindi sila pwedeng magsinungaling. Kasi yung mga kongresistang yanggang are doing their homework. Masisipag po ang mga yanggans, mga tatarlino po. Kaya daw yung mga resource person because alam nila na alam ng mga kongresista, hindi nila mabobola yung mga kongresista. Hindi katulad ng nangyayari sa Senado na nagpapasiklaban pa sila kung sino ang mas marunong magkaroon ng drama. Dito po straightforward and questioning. Nasa correct line of questioning po. Doon sa Senado, pabidahan na lang papapel. Miro mo si Senator Bato, si Senator Bongo na kasangkot sa drug war ay were allowed to be part of the interpellators. How stupid was that?
That typographical error. We would understand the typographical error if it happens once or twice, and at most for one individual to make that mistake multiple times. But for supposedly acknowledgement receipts which come from different sources, this should be different people issuing it po, diba? These are different people signing off for different expenses.
Alam mo, may fault din po ang COA. Just because mayroong pong confirmation, hey, they will accept it. Did not, palagay ko, they did not exercise due diligence in investigating the matter. Hindi po sila mahusay na accountant. That to brag po, I was an internal auditor of Park and Shop in Sucat, Parañaque. Ako po ang head ng internal audit team. I was an officer of the company. So I know what I am saying. If there is even a hint of discrepancy, you have to investigate fully. Ay, tinatawanan ko minsan ang COA. Siguro ay makatakot din sa mga powerful politicians. Okay?
Now, for 158 people to make the same mistake, is that something that would be acceptable? Is that an acceptable margin of error for the COA?
Mr. Chair, they answered in their compliance. As to the
Mr. Chair, apologies. Maybe what does it mean to answer with the compliance? So they took back yung AR na mali po yung date, or
no, Mr. Chair, yung compliance nila contained their answers why they had the acknowledgement receipts dated December 2023 and undated acknowledgement receipts.
and what was
Okay. Sabi. May tanong ko dun sa recent statement ng COA representative. Just because mayroong isang explanation, tatanggapin mo na yon? Mali po yun. Hindi ka mahusay na accountant. Accountant po ako. So alam ko, ang akin sinasabi, the people, sabi ni Ruel Lingahan, the people deserve to know kung saan napupunta ang kanilang mga taxes. Correct po. At dapat alam ni VP Sara ang command responsibility being the head of the department of the agency. Correct po. Yan ang kakamping na si Ruel Lingahan na hindi na madala sa aking channel. Okay? Ang alam ko ay mga resident auditor ang mga ahensya at dapat tugunin din. Yes, you are correct. There is an internal audit team, supposedly. Mahusay talaga si Ruel Lingahan. Alam niya, ang pasikot-sikot. Kasi dalawang sets ang auditor po for your information. One is the internal audit team, and the other is the external auditors, which is the COA. The internal audit team is ang duty nila is to have the strict internal control. Yung mga nag-aral po ng accounting, malalaman po ang ibig sabihin ng internal control. They set yung pag-dispose o pagbili ng asset ay strictly guided by the internal control policies of the agency. Yan po ang katotohanan. So, tama po si Ruel Lingahan na may sabi pa niya, the COA was influenced maybe natakot sila. Yung minor na compliance ay they readily accepted it. Kaya minsan, nawawalan din ako ng tiwala sa COA. They are not strict, but pera natin yan. They should not be lax in their audit. That is our money. My goodness. Baka yung iba nasusuhulan ng officials, kaya gusto lang. Parang biyaya din yan eh. Nasusuhulan sa the this businessman saves a lot of money in taxes by paying a little amount dun sa BIR examiner. Kaya, when I passed the CPA board exam, I did not want to become a BIR examiner, although I had the opportunity to do so. Kasi ayaw kong ma-influensya. Alam mo, we are just human, subject to temptation. Or to avoid temptation, nagturo na lang ako. Okay. Patuloy tayo sa ating...
The answer po, Attorney Camora.
They said they have inadvertently contained clerical or typographical errors indicating 2023 instead of 2022. Considering the nature of confidential activities which are usually conducted discreetly and completed within a short period of time, and in addition to the lack of attention to details of personnel attending to voluminous papers from several individuals, some data and acknowledgement receipts submitted as proof of transactions may have been missed.
Mr. Chair, I apologies. I think that portion would suffice po, Attorney Camora. No? So the answer of compliance, they did not dispute, they did not take back the ARs, but they simply gave that defense that it was an inadvertence, or basically typo nga po siya. But precisely the point, Mr. Chair, that I think that the committee should consider is that it's a typographical error for 158 acknowledgement receipts. This is not something...
Correct po, Congressman. Correct po ang yung patatanong. 158 is not a coincidence. Okay, 158 na parehong date na December 23. Meaning it was prepared in one day only. I would surmise that that in a rush to comply with the COA, they just put the December 23, 2023. Ang komento ulit na magaling na magkomento. Kapag ganito, kalaki ang issue, dapat bumuo ng pribadong auditing firm tulad ng SISIP, SISIP Vilayo, SISIP, nung panahon ko, SISIP Gores Vilayo, ba yun? SISIP SCV, para neutral kahit papano. In most extreme cases, ganyan po ang ginagawa. Talagang kung talamak na ang nakitang katiwalian, dapat nga tama po si Ruel na mag-hire na ng SISIP Gores Vilayo o SGV. Marami akong estudyanteng member ng SGV, okay? Para mag-imbestiga, okay? Dapat po. Pag mga politiko kasi nabahira ng politika kahit may good intentions po. Correct po. Kakikita nyo dito mga kaibigan na nandyan po sa ibaba, magagaling pong magkomento ang aking mga viewers. Matatalino po. Gumagamit po. Akala ko si Ruel, sorry Toblerone, the COA was influenced maybe. Yes, you are correct. Maybe. Kasi bakit nila pinalusot ang confirmation ng Office of the Vice President? Lalong nadidiin ang Office of the Vice President. Kaya nga, ito ba ang dahilan kung bakit ayaw umattend ng 7 OVP officials at saka yung pangunahin nilang pinuno na si DC Presidente Sara Inday Duterte? Okay. Patuloy tayo sa investigasyon.
That I think, although we do not argue with the COA, of course, this is their jurisdiction, It is precisely their decision if that compliance would be sufficient. However, I think for us to consider in strengthening the laws that we are going to craft, or in supports perhaps.
Okay. Yan po ang contradiction o yun po ang rebuttal doon sa mga hindi po umaten. Ang rason nila, ang investigation po ay hindi in aid of legislation. Pero narinig na nyo na sa isang bibig ng isang magaling na kongresista na ginagawa po nila ito in aid para hindi na maulit. So they will have something to think about in preparing po ang bill to prevent these things from happening again. Okay? Kaya this is in aid of legislation. Hindi po yung mali po yung sinasabi na hindi sila attend sa Kamara dahil hindi naman in aid of legislation. O nakita niyo na ang sabi ng kongresista. Okay?
In support perhaps of the joint memorandum circular, I think we have to be stricter with the acknowledged receipts to be issued. Because, Mr. Chair, I would like to propose one thing. Of course, the COA will not be able to answer this. But given the timeline po, no, September 2023 yung first na AOM, the October 2023 was the compliance with the first batch of ARs. And then December 2023, the notice of suspension. And that was the time siguro po, no, that they were coming up with these new ARs. It would make...
Okay. Another comment po. Okay. May isang nakatawa. Sabi ni VP Sara, 700 lang daw ang budget ni VP Lenny dahil yun lang daw kasi ang hinihingi. Pero ba? Anong klaseng rason yan? So kung humingi ng 50 billion si VP Lenny, yun ang magiging budget niya. What a stupid comment. If VP Sara can give 50,000 pesos every month to her chosen employees, she can also do that to co-editors in my opinion. I will somehow agree with you because may ebidensya po. Ang ebidensya, yung envelope ni Gloria Mercado. Yun, here po, tama po si Tobron. Kung pwede nang magbigay ng 50,000 sa mga empleyado niya, pwede niyang suhulan ang COA. Di ba? Galing si Tobron. I see your point. Okay? Hindi, at saka corroborated yan ng isang official na nakatanggap din pera sa envelope. Okay? Hindi lang si Gloria Mercado nagsabi na nakatanggap siya ng pera sa envelope. Okay? Pero yung isa, ginasa yung pera. Kasi akala niya, incentive yun. Okay? Si Gloria Mercado lang ay hindi gumasta ng binigay ng Office of the Vice President. Okay.
Make more sense, Mr. Chair, for them to make that mistake. Because pag nagkaka-typographical error po natin sa date, the usual mistake is you put on the date that is current. Isn't it possible, Mr. Chair, based on human experience, isn't it more likely that these ARs were prepared a year after the fact already?
Ito lang sinasabi ko kanina. Di ba? They were so in a hurry to produce the supplementary receipts that they put it on the same date. Tama ang assumption ko. Tama ang aking analysis. Okay?
December 2023, because this precisely coincides with the date in which they submitted the second batch of the ARs. I don't think, Mr. Chair, this was a mistake that was committed in December 2022. This was a mistake that was committed after the fact, after the AOM, and after the notice of suspension, when they were rushing to comply with yung mga butas po na lahat ng COA. I think this is something that the committee should consider, especially when it comes to the compliance with the COA. We are not faulting the COA, of course, and we respect them. This is their jurisdiction. But one thing that we understand, that we see from the COA, is that generally they are not really ministerial, but they would...
Matatandaan nyo yung aking sinabi kanina? Hindi ko pa napapanood ito. They were so in a hurry to produce the evidence that how stupid of them to put the evidences, they dated the evidences on the same date. But then 158 or a number of the evidences having the same date and containing typographical errors. How stupid. Kaya I tend to believe yung statement ni Toblerone kanina na sabi niya, alitin natin. She can also do that to COA auditors sa kanyang opinion. I do agree with you, Toblerone. Yung pagbibigay ng staff ng pera, nangyari na yan sa Senate, according to Miriam noon. But it was on the year end. Instead na ibalik sa surplus, ipinamimigay, hindi na bagong issue. Ito po, monthly po eh. At binibigay lang yan sa mga procurement department. Kasi nung si Gloria Mercado, when she was a member of the procurement department, hindi siya nakakatanggap. So yun lang, magdududa ka na. Okay? Okay. Lahat po ng procurement department ay nakakatanggap. Okay? Isn't that strange? Okay?
Err on the side of caution rather than put themselves in the place to, exercise discretion regarding the disbursements by any agency. Sa kanila po, as long as complied yung DEP, and as long as there's an explanation, they would accept it. However, I think the COA has to go above and beyond that requirement. Because Mr.
Okay, tama po siya. Dapat mag-imbisiga ng maigi kasi pera ng bayan yan. Anong depensa nyo, mga DDS? Okay. Hindi ba kayo interesado na protektahan ang pera ng bayan?
Share, just to highlight also how spurious this seems and how bogus. If December 2022 po yung date dapat ng AR, tapos December 2023 yung date, it wouldn't even correspond to any confidential funds. It's not possible if ever the reasoning was nagkapalitan ng AR, because I understand that might be one of the excuses for inadvertence. Baka nagkapalitan yung AR for December 23 and December 2022. Pero wala pong December 2023. If we recall, the fourth quarter of the confidential funds for the Office of the OVP was never dispersed. They chose, although it was already included in the our General Appropriations Act, they chose not to disperse yung fourth quarter. So saan po na ilalagay itong December 2023 AR if, in fact, they would say inadvertence, nagkapalitan yan, or if they say typographical error naman, it wouldn't make sense. What's that doing in December 2022? 158 times po nangyari. More likely, this was the same mistake committed by perhaps a few persons, which raises the question, are these acknowledgement receipts spurious? Are they bogus? Are they false? In addition to that, Mr. Chair, I'd like to present another acknowledgement receipt. If the Secretariat could please flash yung November 1 po.
Kung Rog, gusto ko lang linawin, 158 times na ang date ay 2023.
Mr. Chair, based on what our office has found, 158 of the AR.
Isang magaling na komento ulit. Ang budget kapag hinihingi ay may program kung saan gagamitin. Dapat doon higpitan yung pag-asa ng pondo. Dapat aayon sa programang inihain ng mismong ahensya. Okay, approve po ang sinabi ng magaling na commentator. makinig kayo, yan po sa ibaba. It might be VP will be left alone in the OVP. All the employees will hide. Sutil ka talaga, Ruel, no? Because of the hearing, if VP can force them to talk and explain, sure, the concerned employee of the OVP and DepEd will do the talking. Tama. Baka mawalan. Mawalan ng empleyado si VP Sara. She will be forced, in fact, he will be forced to fire. Maybe they were told to escape the hearing and hide. Yan nga, ang nangyari, palagay ko, sa chief of staff niya na tumakas patungong US. Okay, nandyan po sa aking mga balita po. Okay. Sabi ni Toblerone, maybe they were told to escape. And sabi naman niya, hindi ako si Toblerone yan. Tayo, okay. Sorry. Minsan malabo na ang paningin ng tatay. Okay. Inulit ko. Si Toblerone, sabi niya, maybe they were told to escape the hearing and hide. Pero hindi po ako. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Toblerone. Okay.
ARs corresponding to 23.8 million were submitted for the for the fourth quarter of 2022 disbursement, but they were citing 2023. Ang sabi nga po ng COA na ang citing the answer of the OVP is that inadvertence po.
Ang dami naman pagkakamali nun. Kung magkakamali ka, dapat isa lang. Sa 2023, last quarter, wala na silang confidential fund. So parang lumagpas yung kanilang liquidation. Sobra-sobra yung liquidation na nilabas nila. Tama po ba yung pagkakaintindi ko sa sinasabi ninyo?
Well, Mr. Chair, your guess is the same as ours, but it could also be na these are ARs belatedly prepared.
Okay.
Yun ang sinasabi ko. Sa gusto nilang nag-produce ang ebidensya, pinagsama-sama. Prepared po. All at the same time. Kasi yan ang experience ko as a auditor. Yung mga gustong gumawa ng katibalian. Basta kung ano na lang ang pinoproduce nila. Haltang-halta naman. Okay?
Thank you po. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, proceeding onward, may we ask the Secretary to flash yung November 17, 2023 AR. Yun. Thank you. Attorney Cora, is it legible po? Can you see that the date is November 27, sorry, 2023? The 2022.
November, I cannot see it.
150,000.
November 27 po, 2022.
27.
Well, Attorney Commerce, apologies, perhaps di lang kita masyado sa screen, but on paper nakita po na November 27, 2022 po siya. If my understanding is correct, the AR should correspond to the period of the confidential funds actually dispersed.
Okay. Mayroon pong komento. Ang pulisiya natin dito, basta may komento, babasahin natin. Sabi ni, tama dito pangalan, Ruel Vlog. Ito ang mahirap, mana sa tatay. Nahilig sa shortcut. Sugdo lang malabag ng batas. Ang galing mo talaga. Okay, tatay. Salamat sa thanks, classmate. See? Yung madaling magpatawad. Yung aking mga viewers po. They are great. Kaya believe ko sa kanila. Okay. Okay. This is to acknowledge the receipt of the amount of 150,000 pesos for the payment of reward and medicines. Ang reward ba ay in form in the form of medicine? Parang hindi. Okay. Ang hirap, ang posisyon ng mga DDS, mahirap pong ipagtanggol. Okay. Mahirap pong ipagtanggol yung nangyayari, okay?
And use, tama po ba? So although it is for the fourth quarter of 2022, this was submitted as an AR there, it should correspond to the 11 days of disbursement po that they actually had it. Because if I understand correctly, anong date nga po yung first, yung pag-issue nung check for the OVP confidential funds?
Ano? December 20, 2022, Mr. Chair.
December 20, 2022. So definitely, this is after November 27, 2022. Would the COA have, of course, I would not fault COA for this. This is supposedly a question for the Special Disbursing Officer, si SDO Acosta, but given that she's not here, I'm constrained to ask the COA, para saan po kaya would this be considered? Because if we also consider, baka sabihin naman natin na typographical error, baka dapat November 2023 po ito, wala rin pong fourth quarter confidential funds ang OVP for 2023, tama po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
So in that case, how would the COA appreciate this acknowledgement receipt?
Normally, Mr. Chair, it should be noted that confidential funds should not be used as payment for reimbursement of previous activities. So it would have been flagged as a reimbursement.
Okay. Sinabi ng COA, mali po yung pag-gastos ng OVP. Normally po, ulitin natin, ha? Ang sabi niya?
Use activities. So
Previous
it would have been
activity.
flagged,
Previous activity, hindi mo pwedeng gamitan ng bayad. Yan, sabi ng COA.
as a reimbursement expense. So not allowed.
So this would have been disallowed totally. And perhaps there's a good chance that this is part of the disallowance actually of your But I think, Mr. Chair, what is striking for this committee is, of course, the COA has already acted on the disallowance. But what should be considered is the fact that this could not have happened. I mean, reimbursement might be one explanation, but
Ang tanong ko lang sa kanyo, nakakatulog ba si BP? Baka isang reason po yan sa kanyang meltdown, hindi siya nakakatulog. Hindi niyo ba nakukonect? Na hindi na matino yung pag-iisip niya dahil siguro kulang siya ng tulog. Kawawa naman si BP. Dahil hindi incompetent siya, pwedeng hindi siya po may gawa. Ay nakita ng mga empleyado niya na pabaya po siya, they took advantage. That is only the saving grace kay BP Sara. Pero it goes to show that she is really incompetent, okay? Sabi ni Toblerone, that is a clear malversation. A budget for CIF is not for medicine. Kaya nga, tataka ako, he was informed of medicine, okay? Kapag ganyan katagal ang investigasyon, para tuloy ganyan kayo na ang ating mga pinagkakatiwalaang mga leader at ang mga tao sa mga ahensya na pinampasahod ng malaki. Correct. Ang lalaki pa naman ang sahod nila. Incompetent po sila. Ang malaking issue dito, mga DDS, mga kaibigan, mga loyalista, mga kakamping, mga gibuista, ay ang katulad ng ni BP Sara na incompetent, na para napatunayan natin na incompetent po siya, ay mapagkakatiwalaan bang mamahala bilang Pangulo ng ating mahal na bansa? Hindi ba kayo natatakot sa posibilidad na matindi ang corruption? Samantalang ngayon, wala kang may pupuntira kay PBBM na corruption niya. Pati ang dating Pangulo PRD sinabi na he is not corrupt. Na wala pang malaking pagkakamali si PBBM para batikusin. Ang bumabatikos lang ay mga DDS na walang alam at saka mga DDS vloggers na for views lang. Kaya nila binabatikos si PBBM. Kasi yan ang gusto ng kanilang mga audience na hindi ginagamit na ang angkin nilang katalinuhan. Okay. Sure, BP was, si Toblerone po ito. I'm just being very careful. Sure, the BP was bothered so much. Her action and pronouncement shows. Okay. Dapat kasi alamin kung may maling pag-asa o wala. Sabi ni Ruel Lingahan. Kung may mali, ano yun? Para madaling matapos. Okay. Nagagaling talaga itong mga komentarista.
How could you reimburse something that this was even the first batch of confidential funds? December 21 po ba? Tama ba? December 21?
December 20, Mr. Chair, yung date ng check.
December 20 po yung check. This is the first confidential funds ever issued to the OVP for this administration. Yet they have acknowledged receipts for November 27, 2022. Ibig sabihin po, wala pa pong confidential funds. They're already coming up with their acknowledgement receipts.
Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of Congressman Rodriguez, may I just...
Congressman Abante.
Bago ko makalimutan to, no? Nakalagay dito, yung pakianong audit yung, acknowledgement receipt yan. Ito po ba ay allowed ng COA? Pag gumamit ka nung 150,000 na reward.
Yan. And Jonathan Salas, salve meyo, amigo. I'll visit your channel later on, okay?
Rewards. Pakiano nga yung acknowledgement receipt, pakilagay nga uli. Ayan. Allowed po ba ng COA yan? Yung payment of rewards nakalagay medicines? Allowed po ba ng COA yan?
Parehas kami ni Toblerone at parehas din namin ang kongresistang nagaling na sa congressman na si Band. Duda ako. Nagdududa rin si Congressman Abante. Ganyan po kausay si Toblerone. Okay? Palakpakan kay Toblerone. Okay.
Mr. Chair, that is one of the observations po.
So pati ko nagdududa rin. So mahusay talaga rito ang komentarista. So they can already, kasi sabay-sabay tayo nanonood dito. It is basically semi-live. Okay.
So therefore, kung yan ang observation nyo, dinisallow nyo.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Disallowed. Kahaltang halata, no? Rewards medicine, no? Kaduda-duda. Okay.
So,
galing talaga ni Toblerone. Okay.
it was actually 150.
Mayroong komentong bago si Ruel po. Ito ang masigit, ang OVP at DepEd ay hindi monetary earner agency pero ang laki ng pondo gastos. Okay, tama ka. Hindi po sila gumagawa ng income para sa gobyerno. Yan ang punto ni Dilawan Kakamping na si Ruel Lingahan.
1,000 used for payment of rewards for medicines was disallowed by COA. Ganun po ba?
It is one of the disallowed accounts, Mr. Chair, yung payment of reward medicines.
Ito, disallowed to, di ba?
Yeah.
Probably, sir, since kasama naman siya
Teka,
sa...
ano? Attorney, but probably.
Yes, sir. Since it is an acknowledgement receipt
ba?
of payment of
You're a
rewards.
good lawyer. You cannot just say probably. You have to be sure about it, di ba? So, di talagang disallowed to, di ba?
Yes, Mr.
O
Chair.
yan. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Tama ulit, si Dobron. Okay. Nag-stick kayo rito, yung mga nasa ibaba. Kasi ang mga nagko-komento, hindi katulad ng ibang tiyan na bardagulan po. Nakikita nyo ang mga komento po ay napakahusay, magalang, at is straight to the point. Okay. Yan po ang patakaran dito sa aking munting channel. Okay. Kaya please mag-subscribe na kayo sa...
Please continue, Congressman Rog.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Congressman Abante. Basically, what we're trying to say here po, no, in relation to the dates, whether this is for reimbursement of, although illegal po, no, it's not supposed to be allowed. Whether this was a justification for reimbursement or this was inadvertence or typographical errors, despite being repeated over 158 times, these are clear red flags po in relation to the AR submitted by the office. And this is something that we should consider. Looking forward, we should consider po this in aid of legislation, perhaps legislation to strengthen this joint circular to make sure that this doesn't appear again, or perhaps stringent penalties for when this is caught. But more important than that, we still have to hold them accountable po, no? For this, although this is already passed, although there's already this notice of disallowance, accountability should be had for this.
Okay. We go to the...
I am ready to start.
Okay. Okay, that is the first part. Let's go to the remaining po. Give me about 2 minutes. Okay. While I search for the real
Sa cash advance po.
Okay. Thank you po dun sa mga sagot, Mr. Chair. Kasi kung ganun nga yung lumilitaw na parang madali pa lang mag-imbento ng proof of payment. Lalo na based dun sa mga pinakita kanina, meron pa mga visual na pagpapakita no, sa ating mga kababayan na kung merong kahit sinong opisyal, lalo na kapag nasa matataas talaga ng mga antas, kung dumating sa punto na gustong gamitin yung pera ng bayan para sa sariling interes o sa mga masasamang balak, ay madali talagang malusutan yung current na systems na meron tayo na supposedly ay dapat nga lalo kung nagbibigay ng confidential funds, ang assumption dyan ay merong kumpiyansa or confidence dun sa kung kanino o sa ang ahensya nag-grant ng pera. Pero it seems na lalo pa kung purchase of information, yung isang madalas na isite, Mr. Chair, ay
tama si Congressman Manuel. Hindi kaya tanong ko sa mga viewers at saka mga DDS na ang nagmulan ng pinamimigay ng Vice Presidente na mga 50,000 o mga iba-ibang sa mga empleyado ay galing po sa confidential funds. Kasi imposible naman manggaling po yan sa bulsa ng ating Vice Presidente. Pinapalabas lang po na reward money yan. Pero that is graft and corruption. Kung sakasakali man ang binigay na pera ay galing sa confidential fund. Kasi hindi mo dapat ipamigay ang pondong confidential sa iyong mga empleyado para panglabas yan. Para pangbigay ng mga rewards sa mga nagbibigay ng information. Empleyado mo, bakit mo bibigyan ng pera? Di ba? Kaduda-duda ang paggasta ng confidential fund ng Office of the Vice President. Kaya nga, we can live without the confidential fund. Ganyan po ang statement ng ating Vice Presidente. Hindi na lang siya magbibigay ng pera sa mga empleyado. Kaya okay lang na walang confidential fund. Talaga namang hindi napupunta sa dapat gamitin ang confidential fund. So, no harm done sa mga dapat pagbigyan ng confidential fund kasi hindi naman binibigay sa kanila na pupunta sa mga empleyado na gustong suhulan ng Vice Presidente. Hindi ba? Mahirap pong i-dispute yan. Saan ang galing? Tanong ko sa inyo, mga DDS, saan ang galing yung mga perang ibinigay ng VP Sara? So, tama po si Congressman Manuel.
malaki yung room for discretion para magsabi lang halimbawa na okay, ganitong amount, bibigay ko sa ganitong tao kasi nagbigay siya ng information. Pero hindi rin, wala tayong sapat na batayan para masabi na naging effective na accomplish ng ganong mga purchase of information yung kanilang intent. And so to...
Sabi ni Ruel, hindi alam ni VP Sara ang salitang pagtitipid, hindi niya kasi pera. Baka nga. Confidential ito, walang makakaalam. Siya pwede kong ipamigay sa aking mga empleyado. Pero that is not the purpose of the confidential fund. Kaya nga, gastadora, manglulustay si VP Sara or incompetent. Other way, hindi siya karapat-dapat maging Pangulo. Hindi siya po dapat karapat-dapat na maging Pangulo. Kaya, ang dapat maging Pangulo ay si GIBO TEODORO na inimbisigan ng mga kongresista ang kanyang budget. Nagpalakpakan pa nga yung mga kongresista. Ay, balik tayo.
Wrap up, Mr. Chair, lalo na I can really recall na noong 2022, doon pa lang nung formally na bahagi ng budget proposal ng OVP tsaka DepEd, yung confidential funds, ay ginagamit pa actually yung bahagi ng ating constituency, mga kabataan at mga bata, para i-protect di umano yung kanilang interest, i-defend yung kanilang welfare.
Okay, sabi ni Ruel. May pagkukulang din ng COA. Sinasabi, dapat gawan ng batas ang naangahansya ay hindi maaaring humingi ng budget habang may usapin pa sa COA. Ay, hindi, mali ka dyan. So, kasi paano mag-operate yung opisina kung walang budget? Bigyan ng pangil ang COA. Ay, hindi pwedeng hindi magkaroon ng budget ang isang ahensya. Paano sila mag-operate? O, yan. Isang hindi namin pagkakasundo ni Ruel. Okay. Ang isang budget ay kailangan for the agency to operate effectively. Kaya lang ang main na trabaho ng COA is to make the agency fully aware that they should spend their budget wisely. Well, budget upgrade. Oh, yeah. Budget upgrade ang ibig kong sabihin. Correct. If that is the case po, tama ka po yan. Okay. Tama mo? With our disagreement, we somehow mga kapatid niya na sa ibaba. Hindi ako basa-basa makikipag-ayon sa aking mga commenters po. Pag nalalaman ko mayroong silang pagkakamali. And then, they somehow, mga commenters ko matatalino, they somehow correct themselves po. Okay? Do what they did to VP Lenny. Just give the operational budget as to run the office of the Vice President. Maybe. Okay. Kasi dati malakas si VP Sara kay PBBM. At nagtiwala ng todo si PBBM kay VP Sara tulad ng pagtitiwala ko kay VP Sara. Di ba? Matagal kong pinagtanggol si VP Sara dahil siya ay pinagtatanggol ni PBBM. Okay.
Welfare, protektahan daw sila mula sa mga gumagamit ng droga, child abusers, child exploiters. Pero as it seems, Mr. Chair, I don't think merong mga members ng committee who are actually convinced na naprotektahan natin yung mga bata at mga kabataan dahil sa pag-grant ng confidential funds both sa OVP at sa DepEd. So I really hope na maliban sa mapigilan na natin yung ganitong abuso sa confidential funds, yung mga hindi rin talaga nagpakita na katiwa-tiwala sila sa paggamit ng pondo, dapat hindi na natin mahayaan na magkaroon ulit sila ng access sa ganitong pondo, lalo na pera ito ng ating mga
yan ang sinasabi ni Ruel. Na hindi na sila mabigyan ng pondo or upgrade po. Kasi they are wasting our money. O, kita mo? Mahusay talaga ang aking mga commented ta. Okay. Okay. Tama ulit si Ruel Lingahan.
kapwa Pilipino, pinaghirapan, nagbabayad ng buwis para sa pinagbabudgetan ng Kongreso. Yun lang, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Congressman Manuel.
Senate President this hearing.
Approximate of the expenditure
On the cash advances.
So with that being said, doon sa pondong nailaan para sa kanya.
Sandalian.
Madam Attorney, papakita ko na lang sa iyo.
So it's the same ink used by ASEC Lemuel Ortonio,
Sandali.
the assistant. Okay. So pwede po bang malaman yun pong mga certification na ginamit po yung security group ni Vice President, tinanggap din po ninyo?
Mr. Chair, hindi po. Yung proof sa rewards ni OVP, hindi po.
Hindi.
Kaya po na-disallow yung payment of rewards.
Sa DepEd?
Sa DepEd po kasi, parang na-deem namin na independent party yung nagbigay ng certification. So,
Pakilapit lang yung...
since na-deem namin na independent na group yung nag-issue ng certifications, we accepted the certifications.
So, tinanggap ninyo?
Opo, Mr.
Yung
Chair.
yung certification galing doon sa office.
Magbasa tayo ng komento. Ang sabi ni TEODORO about ayuda direct to DSWD, libreng sakay to the DOTR, health assistant direct po sa DOH, burial direct to the social services, etc. Duplication project of OBP is not needed. Tama po. Okay. Bumili ng impormasyon. Anong impormasyon? Ano ang naging aksyon? Ano ang naging pakinabang ng bansa sa biniling impormasyon? Dapat alamin po yan. Napakagaling po ng komento ni Ruel Lingahan. Okay?
Ng Vice President Security Group.
Hindi po. Yun ang hindi po namin tinanggap since parang kasama din po ng OVP po yun eh. Pero yung sa DepEd po kasi, ibang party na po kasi yung nag-issue ng mga certifications.
Ayun yung natanong na nung last hearing
Yes,
yung mga
Mr. Chair.
Philippine Army units
Yes, Mr. Chair.
na nag-conduct ng Youth Leadership Summit.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you. But would you agree with me that the office of the Vice President is separate from the office of the VPSG?
Yes, Mr. Chair. But they are the group that is specifically, it's like yung PSG po ni President na specific na naka-assign kay VP po.
Kaya lang. Kaya nga. And would you agree with me also that the office of the security group of the Vice President would have their own funds?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. And therefore, would not need the confidential funds coming from the Secretary of the Department of
Correct.
Education and from the Office of the Vice President. Would you agree with me?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Thank you. Wala kasi dito yung mga fan eh. Dapat yun ang tatanungin eh. Now, are you aware na there were 787 acknowledgement receipts where there were no names but there were signatures?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You're aware of that? And there were...
Paano nangyari yun? Walang pangalan? Mayroong signature? Di ba kaduda-duda? Another red flag po yan, mga kaibigan, na hindi ma-explain ng VP Sara kaya hindi siya umaten.
302 ARs that had unreasonable names. Would you agree also?
Unreasonable names, Mr. Chair.
Unreadable.
Unreadable. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Then there were 5 names repeated.
That was not an observation, Mr. Chair. Yung repeated names po, hindi po namin naging
Hindi
observation.
nyo nakita yon. Okay.
Okay. Mas mahusay pa ang kongresista. Nakita nila yung repeated names. Okay. May bagong kwento. Okay. Galing kay Ruel na naman. Dito sa Taguig, if you are a Taguig voter, 24,000 burial assistant ay mayroon sa lahat ng butante. Okay? So, hindi na po dapat mag-provide ng ganong kalaking pondo ang Office of the Vice President.
And insofar as the confidential fund of the Department of Education is concerned, yung location ng where the YLS were conducted did not match locations where information to support this YLS were supposedly bought. Would you agree with that?
Yes, Mr. Chair. May specific areas po yung certification.
Yes. Now, would you also agree that there were identical entries, amount expended, and number of receipts for the second and third quarter of 2023 for entries on provision of medical and food aid?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
It's not very unusual naman po. Since
I beg your pardon?
it's not very unusual naman po since pwede naman po talaga mangyari.
So usual
na,
yung nangyayari yun?
Hindi naman po usual pero hindi naman siya ganun ka-unusual.
Oh, sige. Whether it's usual or unusual, is it in accordance with the joint circular?
Sa joint circular po kasi
Mahusay magtanong talaga si Congressman ako.
documentary evidence of payment lang po ang requirement.
Sa pakisagot lang yung tanong, whether usual or unusual, is it in accordance with your joint circular?
Since the document was submitted
You
po,
think they are?
po,
So it's your opinion?
Yes. Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
thank you. May we go to yung kwan, yung acknowledgement receipts or DEPs. Now, we have examined yung DEPs or acknowledgement receipt, which were used to liquidate the confidential funds. And I would like, Mr. Chair, to make the following statements from the examination. May nakita po na mga acknowledgement receipts that all appear to be signed by the same pen. Would you agree with that also, Madam Kawa?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Since either blue or black po yung...
Yes, kaya nga. Makikita po natin ito sa color ng ink.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Which is a very distinct shade of blue na may shades of black. I think it's there shown. Yan di po ba yung acknowledgement receipts na nasa inyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And wala po kayong napansin?
Yung ni-note lang po namin is yung mga iba ang date, yung mga unsigned. Yun po, Mr. Chair.
Ganon.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to manifest that all these acknowledgement receipts are under the names of different persons, pero wala po dyan yung naulit. Dyan po sa 10 na yan. But if we look at it, the names and signatures of different persons appear to be written with the same pen with a distinct ink on different dates. I think this is highly irregular. Bilang ako, isang investigador. Now, Madam Attorney, you confirm that you have received these acknowledgement receipts as part of the submissions of the Office of the Vice President to liquidate their confidential funds?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Okay. Now, would you agree with me that these 10 acknowledgement receipts appear to be written with the same color of ink? Yes?
Like I said, sir, it's either blue or black po kasi yung ink.
Gusto
So,
ko lang malaman yung sagot po ninyo.
yes, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you. And this is a distinct shade of blue na almost black. Parang may gradient po siya. Tama.
I cannot remember.
Kaya nga ikaw,
na,
sabi mo,
Mr.
ang sagot mo, it's either blue or black eh. Kasi parang naglalaro yung ink na ginamit sa blue or black.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Common
Yeah.
naman po yun na nakikita namin either blue or black ang signature.
When you say common, sa lahat po ba ng opisina na inaudit niyo, ganyan?
Either blue or black. Yes, Mr.
Blue or
Chair.
black din? Sa lahat ng opisina ng gobyerno na inaudit ninyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Like, kami rin, sir, either blue or black po ang ginagamit namin.
Ha?
Either blue or black din po yung ginagamit namin.
Yeah. And I would like to show kung ano yung ink dun sa pag-imbestiga namin eh. Yan. Yung kulay. It's Prussian blue. Would you confirm that this is the same or very similar color as the ones in the ARs that were submitted to you?
Hindi ko na maalala yung itsura, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Tingnan po natin yung kwan. Yung pinirmahan ni Assistant or ASEC Ortonio. Hindi po ba parehas yung pinakita ko na Prussian blue?
Mukhang parehas, Mr. Chair.
Ha?
Huli!
Parehas. So it's the same ink used by ASEC Lemuel Ortonio, the Assistant Chief of Staff of the Office of the Vice President. Tama?
Mukha pong pareho, Mr. Chair.
No. Now, Mr. Chair, there had been also observations that there are acknowledgement receipts which bear the same or similar handwriting. Parehas po ang handwriting. May nakita rin po ba kayong ganon, Madam Attorney, na halos parehas ang handwriting doon sa mga ARs?
Hindi naman po kami experts sa handwriting, Mr. Chair.
Hindi naman kailangan ng expert para makita ko minsan yan eh. Comsec, pwede ba ipakita yung kwan? Yung picture ng halos parehas ng kwan? Ng handwriting? Yung AR dated July 27, 2023 and July 25, 2023. Kung pwede ipakita.
Mahusay talaga si Congressman na ako, pa. Alam niyo po kung bakit siya mahusay? Chief ng intelligence dati ng kapulisan yun eh. Bago siya umalis, head siya ng CIDG. Okay?
Hindi maikwan. Saan ba sila?
Sir, may I be acknowledged while we're waiting for ICTS to fix the technical problem?
Yes, Comsec, you are acknowledged.
Your Honor, we would like to recognize Honorable Julian Jam Baronda, Deputy Majority Leader from the Lone District of Iloilo City, and Honorable Crispin Diego Ping Remulla, Vice Chairperson from the 7th District of Cavite, Your Honors.
Attorney, bago natin kasi nagkakaroon ng technical problem, pwede bang magtanong din ako kasi hindi ako naliliwanagan dito sa yung there is a deficiency, I think, that you have noted, that the payment of rewards to informers must be supported with documents evidencing the success of the information gathering and or surveillance activities on account of the information given by the informer. Ito
Yes.
po yung ginamit dun sa yung YSL.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ano po yung ang aking pagkaintindi rito, correct me if I'm wrong, na dapat may makuha ng information na ginamit yung confidential fund and that an activity was conducted because of that information, and that information gathering and that activity were successful.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Tama po ba yung
Tama po.
pagkaintindi ko?
Tama po, Mr.
Now,
Chair.
if I may ask, how would you know or how would you be able to find out na merong information na nakuha muna before they have conducted their YSL?
Wala po kaming information on that. So, either may separate sila as part nung purchase of information and then separate yung rewards, or nabayaran na siya same with rewards.
Pero requirement po nyo yun, di ba? Requirement na circular.
Yeah. Kaya po yung yung
Because
additional
that
requirement.
is precisely the reason why you will justify the buying of information,
Yes,
which would
Mr.
lead
Chair.
to a successful event or operation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Di po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kasi ginagawa rin namin nung nasa servisyo ako yun eh. I know that.
Yes, Mr.
Pero
Chair.
parang pagkaintindi ko sa inyong clearing instruments, parang hindi, just because there was a certification that the YSL YLS pala were successful, tama na yun. Parang gano'n ang pagkaintindi ko. Samantalang nung kami ang nasa serbisyo, ang requirement is that ipapakita namin na may information kaming binayaran, and because of that information, an operation was conducted and it was successful. Hindi ba dapat gano'n?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero in the case of the confidential fund of the OVP and the DepEd, hindi ko nakikita yon.
Yun nga po, kaya ni-require namin sila mag-submit ng additional documents. And yung nag-review po, naging sufficient na po yung certification from yung 5 certifications.
And that is enough to show na tama po yung ginawa nila, just because nag-submit sila ng certification that YLS was conducted and it was successful. Di ba ang concept dapat nun is you use confidential fund to buy information, and because of that information bought or acquired, you conduct an operation,
Yes,
and
Mr.
that
Chair.
operation should turn successful.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ganun po yung requirement sa amin nung nasa servisyo kami. Intelligence fund.
Yes, Mr.
Basically, they are the same.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
So, bakit po naniwala kayo sa certification lang na successful yung pag-conduct ng YSL?
Since yan nga po, independent na agency po yung nagbigay ng certification. And sabi naman po niya na because of the YLS nga wala pong na-influence ng mga bata, we deemed it successful. Compared po dun sa yung sabi niyo po kanina na yung sa VP SPG group, ang sinabit lang po nila was a listing of the activities of the Vice President, which is wala naman pong information kung may success ba, na may successful activity ba na nagawa because of the information they have gathered.
Yun yung sa security group.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And is there any way that you will determine that the confidential fund of the OVP and DepEd, these funds were used sa activity ng VPS security group? Kasi they have their own funds. That was the first question I asked you a while ago.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
that the Presidential Security Group and part of that is the Vice President Security Group, may pondo po sila naka-allocate talaga.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, but they were not able to show, if I will appraise yung documents, they were not able to show that
Okay.
confidential funds of the OVP and the DepEd were used in such activities.
Yes,
Can you
Mr.
see that they were used?
No, Mr. Chair. Kaya nga po, hindi naman siya na-consider since yung list of activities lang po ang sinubmit nila, which is, alam nila since sila naman po yung kasama ni VP sa mga activities na yun.
But anyway, hindi pa rin yata tapos page. Pwede na? Pakishow nga yung yung acknowledgement receipts dated July 27, tsaka July 25, 2023. Wala pa rin. Ipakita mo na lang sa kanya. Madam Attorney, papakita ko na lang sa iyo yung observation namin. Yan lang, tingnan mo lang yung receipt na yan. Because I will ask questions. Okay? Pwede. Did you notice na isa lang ang gumawa nito?
Mr. Chair, sorry, tinignan
Yun
ko
lang
lang.
sinasabi ko Kaya tingnan mo. You observe it properly. Ayan na. Akin na. Ayan. Nakita mo?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you confirm that these were submitted to your office?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Now, if you observe, kindly observe the letter J. Tama po ba na halos parehas yung letter J dyan?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Okay. Hindi po ko na magkakaroon ka ng letter D na parehas yung paggamit. Kasi hindi ako nagagamit ng Jane katulad niyan So, based on the evidence of the handwriting, it seems that only one person prepared po yung two receipts, pati yung Y. Pati yung Y. Pati yung 2. Look at it. Pati yung 2.
Tama rin po ba na parehas din yung color ng ink na ginamit at saka yung lapat po ng pagkasulat?
Congressman
Yes, Mr.
ako.
Chair.
Would you be able to state, Madam Attorney, na these two receipts were written by the same person?
Probably, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Mayroong komentaryo. Kitang-kita na sa husay po ni Congressman Akop na mag-imbisiga, na-prove niya na isang tao lang ang naggumawa ng resibo. Dito, proceed tayo. Kala ko mayroong komento. Okay, yan po.
Probably. Pero these are two different acknowledgement receipts indicating different dates
Yes,
and
Mr. Chair.
indicating different payees. How can that be?
Pwede naman pong either of those two persons wrote the same and then someone else
So that is
signed.
regular? No.
I'm not saying regular po, pero it
Hindi
could
nga,
happen po.
tinatanong ko nga is, nagkakaroon tayo ng observation. Now,
Yes, Mr.
do you think this is regular?
Hindi siya makasagot.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, makikita po natin dito na there are certain things na irregular insofar as the DEPs or acknowledgement receipts submitted by the two offices doon po sa COA. Now, I would like to point again another observation which we have made. This time, an acknowledgement receipt with the name KV that repeats in OVP and DepEd acknowledgement receipts. Kindly show yung OVP at saka DepEd acknowledgement receipts. O, parehas lang yan. Nandun sa OVP, nandun pa sa DepEd. Hindi nyo napansin ito?
Hindi po, Mr. Chair, since na-audit siya ng magkaibang time.
Okay. Pero would you confirm that the two ARs parehas ang pangalan na KV?
Hindi ko na maalala yung exact document, Mr. Chair.
Sige, yeah, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Again, Mr. Chair, pwede po bang ipakita natin yung last AR dated 12/30/2022? Sinabi din ba ito sa inyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ha?
Yes.
Yes.
Basta lahat po ng sinubmit namin po, Mr. Chair, sa inyo. Galing sa amin po.
Oh, sige. Yun ang binigay nyo sa committee.
Yes, Mr.
Tama,
Chair.
na nabasa namin.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. The name would read, tama po ba? Mary Grace Piatos?
Piati?
Ha?
Piati?
Piatos.
Piati?
Ang pagkabasa ko, Piatos eh.
Why po yung last?
Why? Hindi S?
May ano po siya eh.
Yun o, tingnan mo.
Why po? Since masyado nang mababa yung tail.
Okay. Now, sa tingin mo, totoong tao yan? What's your opinion?
It could be a person.
Could be a person. Pero, would you know na merong restaurant na Mary Grace ang pangalan?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Cafe
At meron
Mary
ding
Grace.
piatos na brown ng potato chips?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you know that?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Anyway,
It's
at
Piati.
least alam mo rin pala mga yon. Now, Mr. Chair, I would just like to repeat what I've said a while ago na everything na tinanong ng aking mga kasamahan tungkol sa documentary evidence of payments or acknowledgement receipts ay karamihan po ay hindi po totoo. And therefore, if hindi po totoo, hindi natin malalaman kung saan talaga napunta yung pondo, yung confidential
Yan, ang
fund.
correct.
Until and unless we would be able to grill yung dalawang SDOs. The SDO of the Office of the Vice President and the SDO of the Department of Education. Si Madam Acosta yata at saka yung isa.
Si Pada?
So we can only surmise, Mr. Chair, na yung pondo, dalawa lang ang pupuntahan nun eh. Kagaya ng sabi ko, sa bulsa or nagamit po sa ibang bagay. Both hindi po tama. Kasi kung ginamit sa ibang bagay, and I think the lawyers of COA would agree with me that there's technical malversation.
Tama ulit si
Kasi ibang
Toblerone.
purpose ng pondo, ginamit sa iba.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Marami pong salamat sa opportunity.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Akop. The chair would like to recognize the Deputy Speaker, J.J. Suarez.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Kanina ho ay pinakikinggan ko po yung mga katanungan ng ating mga kasamahan dito sa committee. Kasama na rin po yung mga tanong ni Congressman Romy Akop. At nakakapagbalik tanaw po tayo ng kaunti. At naalala ko po yung panahon na nagkakaroon ng Senate hearing sa Napoles na parang ganito at ganito din yung mga lumalabas na maraming mga acknowledgement receipts na di umano fabricated, di umano gawa-gawa, at parang hindi po maipaliwanag kung paano po ito tumutugma base po doon sa pondong nailaan para sa kanya. Gusto ko lang po tanungin yung COA, base po doon sa ilang mga acknowledgement receipts na ipinakita sa atin ng ating mga kasamahan mambabatas, meron po kami napansin doon na parang 200 na acknowledgement receipts na signature lang, walang pangalan. Ito po ba ay pumapasa sa qualifications ng Commission on Audit?
For now, sir, ina-accept namin yung signature lang. Although, from here onwards, siguro po, require namin na name and signature.
Because I think we really have to look into this matter strictly. Kasi pag sinabi mong acknowledgement receipt, tumatanggap ka.
Yes,
Meron kang tinatanggap na pera, goods, or services from government.
yes.
And how can you substantiate if that person in that acknowledgement receipt exists kung signature lang? So is there any COA memorandum or policy when it comes to acknowledgement receipt guidelines?
For now, since ina-accept po namin yung signatures lang, wala po kaming ibang basis kundi yung sa joint circular. But we will try to parang supplemental na po yung mga ibang COA issuances.
No, my
I will-
question, ma'am, is there a policy by COA when it comes to requirements of acknowledgement receipts? What are the requirements in that paper so that COA can deem them unacceptable?
May I be permitted to speak, Your Honor?
Yes, Ms. Sofia Gemora, you're recognized by the chair.
Thank you, Your Honor. As to the regular audit, I'm very aware with the confidential fund because it has a joint circular, as a parameter. So in COA, pardon me, Your Honor, I cannot recall the memorandum, but we have this rule that we can reimbursable expense, what you call RER receipt, reimbursable expense receipt is acceptable up to 1,000 pesos and below. Other than that, of course, we need, as it is now, an invoice, and if any signature, it would of course accompany the full name of the recipient or those that signed on the particular receipt.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, that's the memo that I was pointing out to Ms. Remora. Meron po talaga kasi yun sa COA na kinikailangan full name ang nakasulat doon. At nabasa ko na rin po yun. Kaya nga po nakakapagtaka dito po sa 612 million pesos where acknowledgement receipts were submitted by by the Office of the Vice President and by the DepEd Secretary then, ang dami po talagang red flags na nakita po ng committee.
Grabe. 612 million. Ang daming red flag. Ulitin ko. Either incompetent si VP Sara or nilulustay lang niya yung pera nang tutuhol siya sa mga empleyado. Hindi ko sinasabing binusa niya yung pera. Pero yan ang kaduda-duda yung mga ebidensya na ipine-present nila sa COA. Yan po ang natuklasan ng Kamara po. Okay?
Committee. So unang-una ho, signature lang. Pangalawa ho, merong migrant beneficiaries. When I say migrant beneficiaries, they received funds from the confidential funds of the DepEd and they receive funds from the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. Other than that, there are also instances where individuals received funds many times, numerous times, from the confidential funds. Other than that, may instances din po na nakita namin na yung mga safe house na lang po na binanggit ni Chairman, parang hindi po namin masyadong maunawaan kung paano ka gagastos ng 15 million pesos per quarter on safe houses under the Office of the Vice President. Bukod pa po doon, yung safe houses na binabayaran din under Secretary of Education. So of course, documentary requirements are submitted to you. But you know, this, Mr. Chair, raised a lot of questions and red flags from my point of view. Kaya nga po, nakakalungkot na wala po dito yung mga SDO at saka si Ms. Lopez na nalaman po pala natin ay umalis po kagabi papuntang Los Angeles, California. Because these are...
Yan po ang nasa aking balita. Na umalis po si Chief of Staff ni Vice President papatungong United States. Bakit po siya umalis? Okay. Bakit po siya umalis? Dahil sa ayaw niyang sagutin ang mga tanong ng mga kongresista. Katakataka naman na itinaon niya ang pag-alis niya sa bansa papuntang US. Bakit? Kasi in the middle of the inquiry of the lower house of Congress. That is very suspect po. Kaduda-duda. Okay. With that, I will continue with the hearing bukas po. Mamaya po, because we have already spent 3 hours po. I choose the meaty part so that hindi po kayo mag-aksaya ng panahon. Okay. So, sa susunod ko na lang babasahin yung mga komenta nyo. Kasi kukunti na rin lang ang nanonood. So, let's not waste our time and effort. You can, for those who are coming late, pwede po kayong manood ng replay. Salamat po sa inyong panonood. At babay na. Okay? Magpatugtog tayo ng ating closing song. Okay? John. So, thank you everyone.
Halina kayo, Katatay Jack, First Channel. Pag siya ay nagsasalita, maiintindihan mo ang mga balita. Mga balitang tunay na may ebidensya. Itutuwid ang balitang mali. Ang fake news. Yung mga balitang walang pinagbabasihan. Kaya makinig na kayo at magkomento at ating pag-usapan. Pinapakinggan ang opinyon mo at ito'y nirespeto. Tayo'y magtalakayan at may kantahan dito. Pantay-pantay tayo lahat kay Tatay Jack. Tatay Jack, First Channel. First Channel. Nagmamahal, loyalista ating Pangulo. Para sa First Channel. Pag siya ay nagsasalita, maiintindihan mo ang mga balita. Mga balitang tunay na may ebidensya. Itutuwid ang balitang mali. Ang fake news. Yung mga balitang walang pinagbabasihan. Kaya makinig na kayo at magkomento at ating pag-usapan. Pinapakinggan ang opinyon mo at ito'y nirespeto. Tayo'y magtalakayan at may kantahan dito. Pantay-pantay tayo lahat kay Tatay Jack. Tatay Jack, First Channel. First Channel. Nagmamahal, loyalista ating Pangulo. Para sa bayan nito, minamahal ni Tatay Jack ang bayang Pilipino. Kaya halina kayo, mag-subscribe na at mag-bell all para sa susunod. Dapat malaman nyo ang balitang tunay sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Sa pinamahal na Pangulo, malalim sa pagmamahal sa ating mga Pilipino. Kaya tutuwid ang balitang mali. Ang fake news. Kaya mag-umento na at magtanong. Pantay-pantay tayo dito. Pinapakinggan ang opinyon mo at respeto. Tayo pinagbabasihan dito. At may kantahan pa kay Tatay Jack. Tatay Jack.
Okay. So, magit na 2 oras po tayo sa salamat sa nanood po kay Toblerone at kay Ruel at kay Katkat, kay Jonas Sales, Salvimio. See you at the next LS po. Okay? Bye. I love you all.